I try to figure out the intrinsic value in a situation. I like to buy if the price is low relative to the intrinsic value. I like to sell if the price is high relative to the intrinsic value.
So, what do you like to buy? And when do you want to buy it? Right? So, how should you be able to understand if the price is below the intrinsic value or the buy price is above the intrinsic value? Like if the price is below the intrinsic value, that means it's a best buy opportunity, right?
Par returns. But if the investors are pessimistic and unexcited and have given up on an asset, then chances are perhaps that its price is languishing low relative to the intrinsic value. And that is a source of great opportunity.
So as investors, we are in search for great opportunity, right? Now we understand what that best buy means, right? But we want to check same with XRP price too, whether if it is below or above that intrinsic value, and understand where it is in this market cycle, right? That really is important. And along with that, we also have to understand how this is changing, meaning along with that, I would like to understand the external and internal factors influencing the price of this particular asset.
To amplify, take a look at what happened when the US Securities and Exchange Commission in early 2017 denied an application for a Bitcoin exchange-traded fund. Immediately after the announcement, the price of Bitcoin dropped by 16%, and also other cryptocurrencies were strongly affected.
So, the relationship of regulatory news and crypto price is clear. It's kind of directly correlated. And then we have to understand there is some factors which are connected directly towards the regulations, and that kind of gets towards the positive end now. But you also have to understand some factors which are connected are not only directly connected to that, it has some other factors too, which I will explain soon in this video. And then I want to give my take on what is really happening in the crypto Twitter right now. My take on the recent subject happening in the XRP community, which was being, some kind of positive, negative and all. And I would really like to highlight, say for example, my own take on that. Here, I would highlight what it actually means she actually went through and what it is really happening. Like say in her tweet, she actually mentioned this one, and afterwards she put it like this, right? You don't understand Iran. So what does that word mean? So the Iran is like this, and I actually wanted to showcase something. If you are not familiar with this one, you should also understand this one. Why? Because she highlights Christine was never talking about XRP. I would really like to actually take you guys towards an area. Now, this is nothing against her, right? She's always, a great person, a great individual, a great content provider for the XRP community. But we'll actually go through all of that in detail so that you guys can take your own choice and create your own idea about this. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where we discuss crypto and science behind investing regularly. If you saw value for your time, please do support the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. If you would like to open your heart and extend your support, then you can use the PayPal, Patreon or the XRP wallet address given in the description below. Now, Patreon will actually allow you to get more value for your portfolio, in which if you have a lot of assets other than XRP, let it be crypto, let it be other commodities like gold, silver or Forex and others, we can give you ideas, trading setups, and you can discuss the entire portfolio about investing and how you stand on that. Now, let's actually jump directly into what we were discussing. First, I would like to clarify with this and move on. Right, that would be the best thing to do. I have nothing against Ari. As I told, she was and is an inspiration for me in this space, which is XRP, crypto and all. However, I would like to disagree with her in this point, with all due respect for her work and contribution towards the XRP community, because she does a cool job. Now, here she highlights the first thing is like Christine never was talking about XRP, right? And you can see my response to that here. First thing, she mentioned was that, after which she went towards Miguel and Ryan Zagon. So first, let's look at what it is here, right? We have to actually understand the reality of that.
Cryptocurrencies such as Ripple are vying for a spot in the cashless world, constantly reinventing themselves in the hope of offering quicker and cheaper settlement.
So Christine does mention cryptocurrency Ripple. Now, the confusion here itself would be she didn't mention XRP, she mentioned Ripple. Come on, that's, if you are an investor in XRP, first you should understand what XRP stands for. I've explained this previously, but I'm repeating this here for others who don't actually understand this till now. X is that item in that XRP showing that assets, like X stands for that it is an asset created by a non-government entity. And then comes RP, so that stands for ripples. So actual cryptocurrency or the digital asset provided by Ripple, the company, is known as ripples. And that is what Christine is mentioning here directly for settlement. Now, if you are listening to the same video from a little before, now I just actually took you directly towards that area where she was talking about Ripple or ripples or XRP. Now, if you listen to that entire stuff, you will understand one thing. She was actually talking about the cross-border payments industry and how the technology is bringing the revolution there. Now, this is not only in relation to Aries dialogue here, but also with the concept of value investing, right? If you are looking at an asset, how can you understand that this particular asset, which is XRP, it has that value in it? One, you directly get it from here. It's from previous IMF chief and when she was there. And if you actually go through different stuff around the globe, you understand XRP is being highlighted as a bridge for central bank digital currencies. XRP is kind of moving around, and now Ripple, the company, is kind of pushing for its adoption. And you know that World Bank, IMF, European Union, everyone is above on this one. Now, you have to understand, if we say look at different documents from IMF itself, now that's not just a video, this is a document in which they are talking about how they're going to treat crypto assets in a macroeconomic situation, and then this one directly from Fed. So this is not just one item from one area, it's kind of connected. These effects are like the network effect, which you have to understand, because once the regulators come in, as we just saw from BIS, they control everything. So if the regulators are going to come out and state we are going to ban this thing, it goes down. But now we are getting positive signals. It's highlighting now this tweet from Darren Soto, US rep. He kind of highlights that, my bills, the Digital Taxonomy Act and the Blockchain Innovation Act just passed the House, incorporated into the Consumer Safety Technology Act. That's actually a positive scenario, right? So now getting back into this one, the liquidity for XRP, in one aspect, for her, it's like she's putting that in like he failed. And then the next perspective is like Zagon went to another company which was not in support of Ripple. So like those are the perspectives which are laid out there by Ari. Now, I actually saw another tweet in relation to that one. Like say, I am the Legion actually tweeted this one out, like we have 300 plus non-disclosure agreements with Ripple, the company. We don't actually know who they are. If I state that transfer voice is one of them, it would be just speculation. But still, you have to understand, along with all those central banks, giant banking institutions like Bank of America and others, you can't actually neglect all of these things, right? Which we are able to see right now. Now, Digital Asset Investor puts this one out showing Ripple.com is putting out advertisement in Google. So they are, pushing the adoption for this one. The campaign for pushing this level of adoption is there. You can't actually neglect that. And then I would actually like to highlight this one from, XRP, because if you are entering into a digital asset, which you don't actually understand what it stands for, what the project is, how it is performing, how the inventors or innovators of that team, that project is doing the adoption. This can happen at any time. Then I was really surprised, like boom, boom. Now that boom was not to the positive side. It was just tearing down the pockets of many of the investors, but some were making money at that time too. They would be selling that, right? They would be shorting that. So always take care on which asset you go in, because if you don't do that perfectly, you're gonna hurt yourself in a lot of ways. Now, this is a tweet which I would like to highlight with respect to what Ari was talking. Now, I actually saw this as a reply from I'm the Legion. In responding, say, it was like he failed there, right? Now, when you use those terms, you also have to understand that's her perspective. With all the due respect, it's her viewpoint. What I'm highlighting here is my viewpoint using some of the other information. Some don't fail. You might call them overachievers like these who were there in SWIFT, JPM, HSBC and other huge institutions who then decide, okay, I'm going to join this fintech. Why? You have to ask, if a guy from those institutions is going towards a fintech like Ripple, there is something which that company is offering them, and then they complete their task there and move into another institution. For me, that looks cool. Why? Because for this one is not just the transfer wise for the ordinary common man, whereas it's the transfer wise for banks. For me, that's cool. But if I say my opinion about that, it would just be speculation. And for me, I would like to speculate that this is going to give them radically transparent, fast and cheap thing. You can see that. Why? Because as we enter into a central bank digital currency era, as we've been stating, the tweet from Blockfolio highlights that, right? Sweden's just started testing the world's first central bank digital currency. Now, I have a doubt then, what about Chinese yuan? They've been testing that previously. They kind of rolled out in different cities. So the first should not be there, but yeah, one among the first, right? So payments in e-krona will be as easy as sending a text. Now, you really need that concept where you need a bridge between one central bank digital currency to another. When we state that stuff, you have to understand, say, this is a document from Fed. This is the page number 40, which I would like to actually take you guys through. If you have, just for the clarification, which document it is, I'm taking you guys through the first page and then jumping back here. As in other countries, new non-bank players are entering the payments. And who are these? One is fintech and other is big tech. You have to understand those words. Words really means a lot in these kind of research, publication, documents from reputed institutions. Now, fintech, big tech, who are non-bank players entering in this space of payments. And who are they? Ripple and Calibra. Calibra means from Facebook and Ripple is our Ripple, right? So if you don't understand the importance of such a technology providing this, and you only consider that it is just the software they are talking about, it's not about the settlement asset XRP, then what did you just hear from Christine Lagarde here? She clearly talked about Ripples, meaning the asset, cryptocurrency Ripples, for what? Settlement. Now, if you want to shake your head, you do that, but you have to understand that this is for real. Now let's go through one by one of what I would like to actually highlight to you guys here, right? Sweden starts testing world's first central bank digital currency. Now, all of this is happening at a time when the economy is going to the downside. So central bank digital currencies are traditional money, but in digital form. So still, it is having all of that impacts from the economy, which a fiat would be having. Just that the payment method would be different, right? So if you are stating that you don't need a bridge asset like XRP, you can use any stable coin backed by a fiat currency, you have to think twice before saying that. Because these digital currencies are also similar to that of traditional money issued by the central banks, which is affected directly by the macroeconomic standpoints. If there is a depression, devaluation in the fiats, that will definitely affect that and the stable coins. Instead, you need a neutral asset to do that. And that's where you get the information like, in previous document from the Fed itself, we got the information directly from them highlighting XRP as a virtual currency which can be used for settlement purpose. Now that was from International Monetary Fund, and then they highlighted their own financial sector programs, right? Then like this was from IMF and that was from Fed. So it's kind of, tied up with a lot of different documents highlighting how all of this can act. Now, even in this document, you get that macro perspective in which they mention Ripple, the company, and their aspect. And when you come here about BLCAs, you can understand XRP is highlighted as Ripple. Okay, Ripple in bracket, it is XRP. You have to understand that. So if someone is stating about ripples as a cryptography or cryptocurrency, it is XRP. Ripple is a company, and I agree, ripples is an asset, which is XRP, the short form for that. If you don't understand that, try to put that in your head some way so that it is better. Now, there was one more term here which Ari actually used, and you have to actually understand. You don't understand Iran. I was like confused what really is happening with that. Then I went and checked what Iran stands for. So Iran was a samurai warrior in feudal Japan without a master. So a samurai could become Iranian in several different ways. With his master might die or fall from power, or samurai must lose his master's favor or patronage or something like that. Now I'm confused. What really is happening here? Was she looking at XRP like being depressed in that about that asset? Now I really get confused. For me, the market is always like this. It will play like this until the majority of guys are depressed and moving out from the market, and then the market will push the price to the upside. Why I say so? I have seen the same thing, many different times, but in different markets. Now, that's not saying I am 60 years old. I'm saying smaller cycles, not the huge market cycle, but the cycles in which you can understand. If you go to a Forex chart, say USD JPY, you can understand when the market is turning, when you're going to lose. I've lost money, but those were like proper education about technical analysis. What I did wrong, I understood that. I learned from my mistake, and that's why now I'm in a comfortable area with technical analysis. Right now, I'd also like to show you guys some technical indicators, charts, and all here. But before that, we have to actually close on to all of these here, right? Now, in the fundamental side, when we talked about the intrinsic value and external and internal factors, there were a lot of different things. Now, there are positive stuff about that and negative stuff too, but which is being presented as a positive stuff. Say, for example, when you look at different ideas, you can understand these are actually, adoption and all completely agreed on that point. But in my perspective, I would like to highlight, say, XRP payments now enable thousands of US restaurants. So what is the price of XRP now? And if you go and have a meal there, what would be you paying? You would be paying in United States dollar using your XRP. So if the price is low and you're using that, what really is happening is either a custody service for that restaurant chain, or the restaurant chain itself is acquiring more and more XRP. If you remember a story of a guy buying pizza using his Bitcoin, you have to check that story and how he is feeling right now. Don't let the same thing happen to you. I explained in the last video, right? If you are using your XRP for this purpose, that means you are reducing the purchasing power of your own money in one side, and next thing is you are giving away your XRP to someone else for a low value when the market cycle is at the wrong end. If you're doing the same when the price appreciates, say it reaches at least the previous all-time high or way above that, then that really makes sense. That is kind of, if you bought $10,000, okay, say $1,000 worth of XRP, and now you are able to use $100,000. That's like increasing your purchasing power. But think, you bought $1,000 worth of XRP and now your portfolio is 50% down and you're only able to buy worth of $500. That's reducing your purchasing power. Like, suicide. Why you want to do that? You should be financially educated before you execute something like that, right? So you really have to understand what really is happening, because that kind of thing is positive in an aspect of adoption, but not for you as an XRP investor. You have to understand that. Now, this one is showing announcing the launch of Genesis Custody. Previously, back in the day, it was just OTC trading desk for Bitcoin. But when we move into the first half of 2020, there's a lot of different progress there, right? And when you come here, they are now offering different assets, including XRP, XLM, and others. Again, if you look at these assets and their names, it's not like XRP and XLM or XDC and other stuff where they use proper terminology. X stands for the asset produced by non-government entity, and then the name of that asset. Like look at gold, look at silver, XAU, XAG. How was it named? And that's how this is being built. Now it's designed for the future, and in the future these would be the assets which we can use as an investment. Because if you look at the market cycle, you'll understand different things. Now, yes, in a shorter time frame, you'll see different thing. If you zoom out a little bit, you can see something else. And if you zoom out using macro perspective, you'll understand something else. So that takes us to the technical area. If we are zooming in and looking at what XRP is doing on an hourly chart, this is what we are able to see. Say the price is trading in a range. We made kind of a breakout, but it was a fake out. And my Patreon group, I actually put out that we are breaking above, but keep an eye if it is a fake out. And then the price actually came back below. We are trading within that range. Now that range in an hourly chart looks like it went up. Now we have to understand whether this is a reversal pattern here or a continuation pattern. So if it breaks to the upside, that is a continuation pattern, right? Now, it breaks to the upside from here, meaning this in a daily chart, zooming out like this, it may reach towards this particular support resistance area around 0.3. And then on a 3-day chart, now we have that close of a 3-day chart and the open in green showing that the MACD is supporting a bullish momentum. RSI is supporting a way more bullish momentum, and the price action is showing you that buyers are more and more interested in this. Now, why I say so? If you look at this particular red candle, it shows the flow of price from 0.28 directly towards 0.24. The price fell and the candle shows the momentum of sellers. Then the price retraced a little bit like usually it does, and then fell back down again. So that happens usually. I highlighted that back then too. But even after that continuation pattern of the bearish signal, you directly get a reversal candle at an area of support resistance. Now that means a lot, because when you're using a 3-day chart and the price is being supported by a 50-day moving average, that is actually a great symbol, because that's happening at a time when the 20-day moving average is crossing the 200-day moving average on a 3-day to the upside. So the chances are we may see a bounce towards 0.32 and then move towards high around 0.5 first. Now yes, I know it's been long episode. I actually wanted to convey all of these information. That's why I went through all of them one by one. Now, if you would like to go through the fundamentals, the real intrinsic value, how you can understand if it is true or not, I'll actually put all of this in the description below. And along with that, I would like to say, do sign this petition. It's like granting ripples. You have to understand ripples, which I stated, XRP, meaning the token, as a non-security by SEC, because recently they put out that no action letter, but still no particular clarity for ripples XRP. It's still in that situation. So sign in this petition, help John to do what he intends to do with United Nations Security Council. That is a clear petition. Guys, if you saw value for your time, please do support the channel, hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't done that already. And if you would like to support this channel, the research being executed here and presented to you, guys, please do use that PayPal, Patreon, or the XRP wallet address given in the description below. So I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.